In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? Our media product uses the typical conventions of a slasher film in many ways, even if some are subtle. We've used a monotone drone at the point where the victim decides she's going back into the dark building alone to convey the danger that lies ahead. We have point of view shots from the victim when she is dying, looking directly into the killer's menacing eyes. We use dramatic irony when the victim walks back into her office and cannot see the killer behind her. The audience knows something the character doesn't. We have incorporated this as our audience research. Many said that they liked to feel involved in the film and it helped to create a sense of tension for them. A more subtle convention we have used is at the beginning when they are talking about going out that evening and drinking during happy hour. This mistake becomes clear first pointed out in Scream that if you drink, smoke and have sex you will die first in a slasher movie. Another thing Scream points out is that you never say "I'll be right back" because you never come back. This is another thing that our main character says right before she dies. We have followed conventions by using a pretty girl but twisted them slightly, that she has red hair, not blonde. This is because we felt it important that our main character have a fiery personality and thought that red hair would portray this well. Another reason why is because during audience research many girls said that they were sick of seeing blonde stupid girls dying. How does your media product represent particular social groups? Our film is similar to Sorority Row, a recent slasher remake of the original that incorporates many of the same scenarios that we have used. They are all girls that gradually get picked off one by one in situations where they separate. The fact that they are all girls would seem on the surface that they are empowered, especially because the cleaner at their office is male and in a lower paid, lower status job. This theory is then turned on its head when brought to the surface that the male cleaner is the aggressor that is killing these women. It becomes apparent later in the film that these girls only die when they separate, but typically they do not come to this conclusion until it is too late and they are all dead. At the end of our opening, her friends are downstairs and are unknowing to the danger that their friend is in. It makes them appear stupid, as surely if you heard loud banging you would go with your friends to make sure everything is okay. As our target audience during the research said they were sick of seeing such vulnerable, stupid women die so easily, we decided there would be a slight chase and fighting back from our victim. This also builds the tension as it drags out the murder and leaves us wondering, will she be killed or not? What kind of media institution might distribute your media film and why? I thought that New Line Cinema would be an appropriate and beneficial choice for our media product because they have distributed many of the most popular slasher films that are also aimed at our target audience, such as the Final Destination films, which are specially aimed at those in their teens and just out of it, Freddy vs. Jason, the remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, the remake, Nightmare on Elm Street, the original and the remake, and Alone in the Dark. All these provably popular films had New Line Cinema distributing them, and we feel that ours is on a similar wavelength to them. Who would be the audience for your media product? Our group have agreed that aged 14 to 30 of both sexes would be those that are interested in our film. We found this from our research conducted. We also found that especially teenagers watch slasher films in groups. This is because they said they find it funny when each other jumps at various parts of the film. They like to be scared together in a way to make it less scary. How did you address your audience? The chilling piano music at the beginning tells you straight away that this film is not going to be a nice one. The fact that it is played on a constant while showing the victims connotes that they will be in danger.
I'm so glad this week's over.
Yeah.
I know, thank God it's Friday.
The Friday night text and the change in tone of the piano sound grabs the audience's attention straight away. The film begins. We did this because in our audience research, candidates said that they like to be shocked and drawn into the action and tension straight away. We show emergency exit signs at the beginning to show that there will be escapes. The running man in the sign signifies that the victim will be trying to exit as it's an emergency. Our main character is instantly seen wearing a striking red jumper, an obvious connotation that she will be the first victim. She is placed in front so as not to distract the attention away from her. These last few moments that she is alive, she is the most important. As said before, the characters are all talking about drinking, which shows that they will be in danger for not conforming to the social acceptance of alcohol.
I've got this new pink dress from Nulu, but it looks a bit cheap and don't forget to grab the light on the way down.
The switching out of the light is significant to the audience so that they can see that the characters are now in complete blackness, and anyone who re-enters will be fighting with the dark. This is why we afterwards show the stairs in darkness. The monotone drone at the point where she states that she will be going back upstairs alone suggests that she is in danger. Monotone drones are often used in slasher films such as Psycho to subtly tell the audience when death is about to occur, and anyone in the shot at the time of the drone is often in danger too.
Oh, okay, we'll wait for you.
The close-up of her red nails is another connotation of danger, as red suggests anger, blood and death. We shot her at all angles going up the stairs. This was to show how far away from her friends she was and that they wouldn't hear her screams if something were to happen. The music changes a lot, more sincere when we get our first shot of the killer following the victim. The change in tone portrays a change of situation. The victim goes from being safe to being in danger. When the killer stops at the doorway, the emergency exit sign is pointing at him. His stance is clearly blocking the exit and suggests to the audience that there will be no way out for her. The eerie heartbeat conveys that time is running out for her, and her heartbeat, which is brought to a sudden halt when she is grabbed. The shot used is empowering to our killer. Although both looking bigger than they are, the killer almost completely encases the victim in his grip and shows him to be a lot taller than her. The quick edits from here portray a sense of panic and put our audience under almost stress watching it, and it really builds up the tension. The music changes at the grab to a much louder, more upbeat sound, which could almost make our audience jump. Her scream shows her to be weak, but then when she fights back and manages to run away, it shows her determination and makes the audience like her and want her to survive. She typically looks back when she gets to both doors. This act is very common of slashers because us as the audience think that they should just run, as stopping allows the killer time to catch up. During the quick running edits, there are shadows on the floor of trees outside with red outlines. These eerie shadows show that the office is no longer a safer environment to be in. The killer's constant cool stance shows that he could be very experienced. It makes him more menacing, the fact that he is having to put such little effort into the murder. He casually walks but somehow manages to keep up with her. The victim gets into a panic when she sees the lift is out of service. This was to show that her exits and escapes are limited. This was to link with the blocking of the emergency exit signs. The cross-cutting between the friends and our victim panicking shows desperation contrasted with complete obliviousness. This contrast would panic the victim and also confirm to the audience that her friends are not going to help her because they feel nothing is wrong. These shots were added to show that her fate is sealed and to distract the audience from the action and make them wonder what is happening while her friends are talking. At this point, the heartbeat returns again, showing a limited time period of life. The close-up of the killer's mask and eyes with the Rembrandt-style side lighting makes him look very sincere and also show him to have a dark side. On the light side, he is an office cleaner, and on the dark side, he is a ruthless murderer. The way he tells her to shush can be quite uncomfortable for the audience, as he remains so calm throughout and reflects that he is going to make her shush forever. Luckily, in the shot where he pulls something ambiguous from his pocket, our actor has a vicious scar on his hand, which makes him look more violent. The then blackness shows a passing in time. This was to make her killing enigmatic. The heartbeat then stops when we see the killer dumping her body on the stairs, and a tension music sound replaces it. The scream at the end is from the friends downstairs, and the echo of it reflects the end of the opening sequences and transitions into the rest of the film, in which we will go back in time to see why she is killed and who by. What have you learned about technologies from the process of constructing this product? During this process, I have learned in more intricate detail about how to use iMovie and the cameras. I have uploaded the video link onto Facebook and opened a Twitter account to advertise it on so more people can watch it. The video is also on YouTube to get more anonymous comments from a wider audience. Since starting this product, we have also made blogs in which we write about the updates of our film. This has helped me keep track of what I'm doing and shows a progress in my work. We have learnt a lot about sound. I have used all copyright-free sounds that were from CDs provided to us by the school. Looking back on your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learnt in progression from it to the full task? Since the preliminary task, we have perfected the match on action. This is present when our killer walks through the doorway and is stalking the victim, and also when the victim announces that she has left her phone when she turns her head. We have progressed in the 180-degree rule when they walk out of the office in conversation saying that they are glad it's Friday, and then we see them from behind walking out of a door. We have, however, added our own little twist to it by splitting it by putting the Friday night title between. We feel that these attempts are much better than in our preliminary task, as the conversations and movements flow a lot better than before. There is no gap in between, and through hard editing, the scenes changes are in perfect sequence.